Homage to the lineage gurus, to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zengpo. Homage to the 16 Dharma King Karmapa. And homage to Master Thupten Dorji. And homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Guru Padmasambhava. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, temple directors, and all disciples present here and over the internet, and our participating VIPs today are from Taiwan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Secretary General Daniel Liao's wife, Dharma Sister Judy, accountant to the True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa, law advisor to the True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Jennifer Zhou, from CTI TV Taiwan, producers for the Geni Diansang Shinten, Dharma Sister Rebecca Xiaqi, Dr. Ryan Zhuang, Dr. Su Lin, former director of the Overseas Credit Guarantees Funds, wife, Dharma Sister Vivian Sid, Dharma brother Gao Minglu, and from California, two great ladies from California, and Dr. Mei Huang from California, and from the Sunny Line Dance Group, Dharma Sister Lin Yixuan, Dharma Sister Cai Meiyue, and Dharma Assistant You Li Juan, and Dharma Brother Liang Yanrong, and from Hong Kong, Dharma Brother Zheng Tixun and his wife. Good evening, everyone. How do you do? Today, after hearing the speech given by two masters, one representing Seattle Lizang Temple and the other one representing Taiwan Lizang Temple. Actually, there's no need to say it that way. From Taiwan to Seattle is only with a night's sleep, and when you open your eyes, you already arrive. It's not so far. When you get on the plane, you have some sleep, and when you open your eyes, you get to Taiwan, and the same coming back from Taiwan to Seattle. It's very easy. Nowadays, the distance is shortened. Although we have jet lag, but everything is still fine. If you want to come to Taiwan, getting on the plane, you'll get the same thing. If you want to come to Seattle, just get on the plane and you'll be there. So there's no need to have the longings and the yearning and then looking at the sky, but the tears don't fall. It's not so bad. Let's just take it easy. Maybe, who knows, when Simu misses Seattle, maybe we'll come back for a short time. Yeah. Because we have to be fair to both of our grandchildren. Our granddaughter, her birthday is September 11, 911. And every time we would be in Seattle. But for our grandson, his birthday is April 23rd. And every time we are in Taiwan. So we are always here celebrating our granddaughter's birthday, and she's really happy. But our grandson's birthday, he only has like a small sponge cake with one candle. Only the family celebrating his birthday. We are not here. So our grandson always felt that's all for him. So that's not fair. So Simu thought sometimes maybe we should fly back and celebrating our grandson's birthday. We'll take the flight on Saturday night after the Homa ceremony at the Taiwan Lijiang Temple. And then on Friday night, we'll go back to Taiwan and nobody would be aware of it. Then there wouldn't be any problem. So today we practice Guru Padmasambhava's Dharma. As all of us know, Guru Padmasambhava is a manifestation of Amitabha Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha, and Kuan Yin, Lokeswara Bodhisattvas. So the union of the Amitabha Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha, and Kuan Yin Bodhisattva. So the union of these three bodies. And he was born out of a lotus. That's why he's called the lotus born. The guru that's born out of lotus, and he's also called the ocean born Vajra, because he was born on a great lotus on a lake. So he has no father and no mother, so he's a truly lotus born, lotus youth. And there are a lot of biography about him. And once he was invited by Santarakshita and the king Trizong Dechin to go to Tibet to promulgate the Buddha Dharma for 50 years. There are a lot of legends or stories about Guru Padmasambhava, and he's a truly great lotus youth. Now let's continue to talk about the Great Perfection Dharma. Actually, this book, The Great Perfection Dharma of Tantrayana, most of the book is about the Buddha Dharma transmitted by Guru Padmasambhava. In the world, in the human world, the first guru who obtained the Great Perfection Dharma lineage is Prahevajra, and the second being is Manjusri Mitra, and the third person is Sri Singha, and the fourth was Guru Padmasambhava. The fifth was King Trisong Techen and Ishijoka, his consort. So Guru Padmasambhava instructed me. The Great Perfection, it is not difficult to prove that the bright eastern star that Prince Siddhartha saw was his own self-nature, because prior to his seeing this star, Prince Siddhartha, in his practice of the Great Perfection Dharma, had first given rise to the generation of the I, wisdom, and consciousness. So he generated his wisdom I, the wisdom, and the thoughts or consciousness. From this, he gave rise to the generation of clarity, light, and wisdom. So clear, light, and wisdom. Prince Siddhartha embodied the mind of meditative stability, pure mind, untainted mind, untroubled mind, and gentle mind. So these several kinds of mind appeared. So Prince Siddhartha referred to Sakyamuni Buddha. So first, he had the meditative ability, stability, the mind of meditative stability. Second, the pure mind. Third, the untainted mind. And then the untroubled mind and the gentle mind. Due to his embodiment of the meditation on extinction of the mind, which was so pure, so free from taints and contaminations, so untroubled, so gentle, he came to know about ignorance as it really was, how ignorance accumulated and how ignorance disappeared. Upon the disappearance of ignorance, one attains siddhi, and hence the divine star appears. So this is the instruction of Guru Padmasambhava. First, it's the meditative mind. Actually, meditative stability is very difficult because almost everyone's heart or mind is unstable. So you need to have the meditative power in order for the mind to stay stable. In the past, Dipamkara Buddha was also called the meditative light Buddha. Only when you have meditative stability, you would generate light and wisdom. Most ordinary people don't have this meditative stability or meditation power. A Dharma sister once said, a monk should be able to resist temptation. And the nun should be able to endure loneliness. So that's called meditative stability. Without the meditative power, even if you have entered into monastic life, it's easy to return to the home life. Look at the fame, wealth, sleep, food, and also sex. They're all temptations. So for a nun, they have to be able to endure boredom and loneliness. And the monk should be able to resist temptations in order to be able to stay ordained. Otherwise, they're only halfway in their ordination. Let me share a joke. The mom asked her son, "How was your date for your prospect of marriage?" It's about half-half. How come? I went, but she didn't. So that's half. So if you don't have meditative stability in your ordination, then that's only halfway. You're only half renunciate, but the other half is a left home or a laity, a stay home. So to have the mind in meditative stability is not easy. So there are many young nuns. The nuns are usually aged because they know that they are older and uglier, so they have no problem. So, but we cannot say that the nuns are older and uglier. But the other day, when they put on makeup, they're all beautiful. But in order for the mind to be stable, they need to have great mastery in their spiritual cultivation. They need to see through everything about life, about fame, wealth, food, sleep, and sensual pleasures. Some people don't want to shift their hair and they become ordained. They don't want to, because they're still attached to the beauty of their hair, at least. When Grandmaster wears a wig, then I would be 20 years younger. But it's still better to shave my head. This meditative stability is very difficult. There are many people who left True Buddha school, whether they are renunciates or laities, whether they are masters or reference. they left not because the Dharma was not good, but they left because of interpersonal issues. Maybe they felt that they were underappreciated or that they were discriminated against. So they left because they were disliked by other people. It's nothing to do with the Dharma. However, the most difficult thing to handle in the world is the interpersonal issues. And when there are people, there would be talks and words. There are rumors and gossips. And when you couldn't stand that, when they couldn't stand that, they laugh. So it's not that we have bad Dharma here, but it's because of interpersonal issues. It's the same with any group. If you don't get along with the people in that group, then you would distance yourself from them. So whenever there are people, then there would be people talks and rumors. Like in Seattle, there are so many gossips. There's some really hard to believe gossips, things that didn't happen were still talked about. So sometimes when I see a disciple, I would say, oh, you're also a gossiper. Everybody gossips. When they spread it around, it's not that good. And there's tons of gossips about Grandmaster. You know, in Seattle, the temple is small, but the gossips are all around. But at the Taiwan Lichang Temple, I don't hear any. Because over there, I only perform the Homa ceremony on Saturdays. I've never heard about gossips there. But here, I live 7 days a week together with everybody. Although there are not that many people, but if you say something rather different, Grandmaster is very conscientious. So, appropriate, like proper. Grandmaster is proper and appropriate within the line. So that's meditative stability. Because human life is just like a game, a play. So we are like playing roles in the play. Why do we have so many gossips? And we don't have that many people. Because we get along. Because we're together for a long time. So the words, the gossips become more. So between people, but I take it very lightly. You say what you want, I do what I do. So whatever you say, maybe some things are based on the truth, but most of them are just fabricated. Maybe, it's like it's fabrication or imagination. So those are just gossips and rumors. As long as you have the meditative stability, it doesn't matter what people say. But if you don't have the meditative stability, you would find that this place is inappropriate to live. It is really cold, and there's still lots of words going around, even with so few people around. But it's okay, even if I hear that over there there are no rumors or gossips. So it's fine that sometimes we just get into the gossip sometimes. It's less in Taiwan, but more here. Sometimes changing the environment is good. You know, the air in Taiwan is bad, but the air in Seattle is really nice, cool and fresh, very comfortable, and we don't have pollution, air pollution in Seattle. But in Taiwan, it's really bad. I hope Buddhas and Bodhisattvas protect us so that we don't get polluted by the air. So I hope that the air in Taiwan would be cleared and become cooler too. So it's really difficult to talk about this meditative stability or the power of meditation. Let me share a joke. A host accompanied a guest to tour the house, and the guest said, "Oh, does the house leak often?" And the host said, No, it only leaks when it rains." The physics teacher asked the students, "What's the difference between lightning and electricity?" And the student replied, "The lightning is free, but electricity, you have to pay the bill." So that's half-half. We know that when your house leaks, it would affect your meditation power. But a student of Confucius, Yan Hui, has a very strong meditative stability. It rained hard outside and it rained less inside his house, but he continued playing the sitar even when it leaks in his house. It doesn't affect his mind or heart. Grandmaster has so much gossips about him, but it does not affect his commitment in the spiritual cultivation. Just laugh it off. And I just say, how could it be? It doesn't exist at all. It's not like that at all. But it's already spread around. It's not like that, but how could you clarify it? How could you explain it? That maybe it is best not to mention it. You know, Grandmaster's defamation is incredible. It's continually waves after waves. See? But look, I'm seated on the Dharma throne and I am still talking and laughing and I'm not influenced at all, I'm not affected at all. That's meditative power. It's very simple. Once you are enlightened to the ultimate truth of the universe, then you would have meditative power. Prior to that understanding or prior to enlightenment, you definitely will not have meditative power. If you are completely enlightened, it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what other people say, whatever, that's fine. If it exists, it exists. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Say what you want. There is no difference. It is all equal. I'm also glad to be talked about. That Grandmaster is the focus of the talks of all people. If you're not important, nobody will talk about you. Because you're important, that's why you're talked about. If you're just an ordinary person, who would care to talk about you? And it is simple. It is not important, but you think it is important. But in Grandmaster's eyes, nothing is important. Because it is unimportant, then you live your life very in a carefree way. Undisturbed. A told to be. I didn't talk. And what happened? Did she hurt her throat? No. Her husband's ears were deaf. So when you lose your hearing, there's also benefit. You don't hear anything. You don't know what people talk about. There's also benefit when you cannot see anymore. In order to cultivate spiritually, you need three things. That you cannot talk, you cannot hear, and you cannot see. Then you would succeed in your spiritual cultivation. But if you can see, then it would leave an imprint in your heart and would disturb it. And what you hear would also disturb your mind. And once you see and hear, then you start to talk. Then you create the karma of the speech. Then that would be difficult to cultivate spiritually. So our hearts have meditative power. So they kill the 6 robbers, which are the eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, and consciousness. That's the attainment of the arhats. So they kill the 6 thieves. The eyes are blind, the ears don't hear anymore, the speech cannot talk, the tongue doesn't feel and doesn't taste, the body doesn't feel, and the thoughts are pure. Then you would be able to attain arhatship. That's how you train to be an arhat. So you first kill the 6 thieves, which is the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Then you would attain an arhatship. This is meditative power. once you have this meditative stability, then your mind is pure. We often say that the hearings are pure, the eyes are pure when they don't see. So when you don't hear with your ears, then your ears, the root of the ears, or the hearing sense is pure. The same with the mouth. If you don't speak, then the mouth is pure. When the body doesn't touch, then the body is pure. And your mind, and when you don't think, then your mind is pure. So from meditative stability, you can generate purity. After the surgery, the patient woke up from the anesthesia, and the appendix and also the adrenal glands were taken out. But the doctor said, because I received applaud so much after performing the operation on the appendix, so I did another operation. But of course, it's not like that in real case. How do you have pure mind? It's after you gain enlightenment, then naturally you would have pure mind. You would be unaffected. So disciples come and go. They're all pure. How many people have taken refuge? Or how many people left to Buddha school? It's fine, because it's all pure. You are unaffected. And people talk about you in the east, people talk about you in the west, people talk about you in the south, people talk about you in the north. You're still unaffected. And you're completely carefree and at ease. That is purity. Someone recommended a friend not to work on the ships. And how did your dad die? It's through the accident and in water. And how about your grandfather? Also also at sea. And the storm turned over the ship and killed my granddad. And why do you still want to work at the ships? And how about you? Where did your dad die? In bed. And how about your grandfather? Also in bed. And then, why do you still sleep on the bed every night? It's a simple concept. If you have seen through it, then you're pure. Then your mind is unaffected. Of course, life and death is a matter of importance. When your family member passes away, that's a major issue. But a human being would sooner or later leave the world. So human beings are like making phone calls, whether you hang up first or I hang up first. Grandmaster is over 70s. People say that I am a 70-year-old man, but I don't feel it. Maybe I am an 80-year-old man. I don't know. I don't dare to say if I would live to be 80 because I sleep on bed every day. I don't know when I would leave because impermanence can be here anytime. But if you see it through, then it's okay. Life is the same as death. Death is the same as life. When you're born, you would die. But when you die, then you will be born again. So there's nothing to be scared of. You shouldn't be scared of death. But if you have less suffering prior to death, then that would be called a good death. A very good death. In Buddhism, we talk about the good death, that you don't suffer and you leave after a few days, or maybe in a split of a moment, split of a second. That's worth congratulation. It's no big deal. In the eyes of the enlightened ones, life and death are no big deal. I cannot curse my family members, but no matter what, I would live my life. So when you have such a mindset, then everything is okay. A patient told the doctor, I lost hearing and it's getting worse and worse, and I can't even hear my own coughing. So the doctor wrote a prescription 3 times a day, and when you finish the medicine, then you will be able to hear your own coughing. And the patient asked, so will I recover my hearing? No. I'll just make you cough louder. So it's going the other way around. Sometimes there's no use to worry about your health or body. So just befriend your sicknesses. So when you age, you would definitely have some illnesses. Then befriend your illnesses. And every day you're together with your illnesses. And there's no need to be sad no matter what, because everybody is the same. My mom told me before, I said, Mom, how come your memory is getting worse? My mom often said, you'll know when you are my age. And I said, Mom, how come you walk slower nowadays? And my mom always says, well, when you're my age, you would know. And sure enough, then you would know about it once you reach that age. In the future, you understand about Buddhism, about the sufferings of birth, growing, aging, being sick, and death. That's normal. That's normal. So if you're sick, just endure it. Everything will pass soon. The same with Grandmaster. All the doctors can cure your illnesses. And Grandmaster too has some power to alleviate your sicknesses, and also doctors. But nothing is cured forever. Someone asks, do you catch cold? Yes. Will you get well? Yes. And afterwards, will you catch cold again? Yes. And the doctor said, yeah, then that's right. Because as doctors, we have to earn our livings from your cold, from your illnesses. So if I cure you once and for all, then where do I earn my money? So if Grandmaster tap on your back and you're cured once and for all, then I would have bad business. So it has to kind of go round. Like someone comes for spiritual consultation. If I ask for this issue, then would everything else would be fine? Well, I said, of course you would be fine, but then you would suffer from it again. But if you see through the human life, then you would be pure. And if you don't, then you will never have meditative stability. So he has the mind of meditative stability, pure mind, and untainted mind. Human beings were originally Buddhas. Let me tell you, the White Lotus King, that will be transmitted in Hong Kong, he wrote a book called The Untainted Clear Light Discourse. And this is a book about enlightenment. Actually, there is no contaminants and there is no taints. You maybe find it strange. You know, you say someone is dirty. He's actually clean, but he looks very dirty. Or you say that someone's heart is dirty. His mind is dirty. You can't tell from the surface, but actually his mind is dirty. So it doesn't matter whether it's the outside or the inside, they're actually not dirty, and that would be called untainted. Why is it? Mull it over, ponder it. If you can think it through, then that would be called enlightenment. Why is the world untainted, and why is the world bright and clear? Someone came from spiritual cultivation, and he has a really bad breath. And I could smell it from a distance. As soon as he walked into the door, I have to hold my breath and give consultation like this. And some people took off their shoes coming to my house wearing socks. Oh geez, the room was filled with that smell. And I spray perfume after he left. But frankly speaking, it is untainted, uncontaminated. Even the bad breath or the foul smell from the feet, they're not smelly. Some people have a strong body odor. Oh, a woman had such a strong body odor. Oh, we couldn't stand it. But in reality, the enlightened ones would know that there is no bad breath, no foul smell from the athlete's feet, and there's no bad body odor. They all non-existent. Why? Think about it. The husband is arguing with the wife, and the husband was really mad and left home, and the wife asked, "When are you coming back?" And he said, "I would be," the literal meaning of Chinese, "I will be your grandkid if I come back." And after he left, he came back. And he said, "Grandma, I'm back." So the husband was really earnest. He remembered what he had said, that if he comes back, he's the grandson. So when he came back, he called his wife Grandma. So this husband was quite good. We have to follow the process. The teacher asked the students, "How many legs does an ostrich have?" And the kid told the mom, "I said 3." And the other students said 4. And my answer was closest to the correct answer. So the teacher encouraged him. "How many legs does an ostrich have?" "How many?" 2. And he said 3. That was closest to 2, because the rest said 4. I thought there were 4 legs. It turned out to be 3. Not 3, 2. But let me tell you, it doesn't matter how many legs. An enlightened answer. The teacher asks you, "How many legs does an ostrich have?" There's no need to answer him. Don't answer. Why? The discourse of the untainted clear light. You need to generate your eye, the eye of wisdom, and your consciousness and the pure mind, the untainted mind. When you reach the realm of untaintedness, then your clear light radiance would be generated. So is it the body that is untainted, or it's your mental mind that's untainted? Actually, none of those. I often say this statement: When you go to the moon, are there people there? It's been proven there are no human beings in the moon, on the moon. So on the moon, what is vegetarian? What is eating meat? What is pure? What is contaminated? What is man? What is woman? What is good? What is bad? And what is Mara and what is Buddha? So let me ask all of you, on the moon, is there the so-called good and bad? Is there Buddha Dharma or Mara Dharma? Is there vegetarian or meat eating? Is there true and false? No. That is untinted. If I continue to talk about it, all of you would be enlightened. And the untroubled mind or unafflicted mind. Oh, it's time? I have talked for 56 minutes. It's okay. I'm not concerned about the time. Time was defined and set by human beings. Originally, there were no time, the so-called time. 70 years is also defined by human beings. The time was specified by human beings. So age is also specified by human beings. So let me tell you that the age is not the issue. Sung Ting-Shin, did you hear that? The issue is not the age. How old are you? 70. I win over you. So age is not the issue. And time is not the issue. Let's continue. Let's continue to talk. There are two people getting drunk and caught by the policeman. And someone asked the cop, how do you know that they're drunk? The cop said, one of them were throwing the bills, the dollar bills. And how about the other person? And the cop said, he picked those bills and then returned it to the other person. So that's why both of them were drunk. So the cop was incredible. He was very observant that only drunk people would do such things. Normal people will not do such things. And we are all normal people, but at the same time we are also drunk. Why did I say that we are all drunk? Because we are all abnormal. The so-called normal person is abnormal. And because we are abnormal, we are normal. So can you understand? It is like the statement in the Diamond Sutra. The so-called sentient beings are not sentient beings. Because they are not sentient beings, they are sentient beings. These are words of enlightenment. The wife told the husband, when you age, you talk more. Like Grandmaster, as he ages, he talks more on the Dharma throne. And the husband replied, then you were never young then. There's something implied here. That you were never young, which means the wife talks so much. Other than dance, other than dancing in the line dance, they just exercise their mouth. Of course, when you dance in the line dance, you don't talk, but they dance for 10 minutes and then they talk for 50 minutes. Sumu told me, I said, oh, you practice the line dance for 1 hour? And she said, no, we just dance for 10 minutes. And how about the 50 minutes? We exercise our mouth. So when we get older, we talk more, the same with Grandmaster. So let me tell you all that the untroubled mind or unafflicted mind is very important. Today, if you have issues with interpersonal relationships, if you don't like someone, the one that's afflicted is yourself, not that person. If today you don't like this group, it's not the group that would be troubled, but you would be troubled. If today you leave a group, it doesn't matter to the group, but the issue, you still bring the problem with you, the issue with you. So troubles or afflictions were originally not there, but you create problems for yourself. Don't be troubled because of their looks or what they say. Don't be troubled because of somebody's actions. And don't be troubled because of a lot of factors. Please don't. Once you understand what human life is about, then you would not have a troubled mind anymore. And this is called the untroubled mind. That's all for today on Mani Padme.